Delay, we'll start today's class. That is today's class we'll see about some of the important diseases of papaya. Okay, before that, let us study about some of the economic significance of this papaya crop. What is the scientific?
Carica papaya, sir.
Okay, its scientific name is Carica papayae. It belongs to a family called Caricaceae. This crop is native of Mexico, and this papaya is rich in carotenoids, which is a precursor for the production of vitamin A. In addition to this crop is also rich in vitamin C and also other minerals. Have you any time consumed the seeds of papaya, whether they are edible?
Non-edible. Non-edible.
Okay, papaya seeds are also edible. If you taste them, we can feel like a peppery or spicy taste, like a pepper taste. We can feel the taste of the papaya seeds. Okay, this papaya is very rich in fiber called pectin. It reduces the cholesterol level of our body. Generally, doctors recommend us to take a fruit immediately after our lunch. Do you know the reason why? General doctor will recommend to take papaya fruit immediately after our completion of our lunch. Do you know the reason why? Because papaya contains an enzyme called papain. This papain will improve the digestion process. That's the reason immediately after consumption of our food, if you take papaya fruit, it will improve our digestion process. That is the reason why they will ask to consume papaya. Papaya fruit is commonly referred as fruit of angels. Do you know why? Fruit of angel. Have you anyone tried applying mask with face mask with papaya fruit? Okay, this papaya fruit is used in cosmetics. Okay, if you apply face mask with papaya fruit, you look like an angel. That's the reason they referred it as fruit of angels, because this papaya fruit cures acne as well as skin infections. In addition, it also removes the dead cells from our skin. That's the reason they commonly referred it as fruit of angel. Which country is the leading producer of papaya? Which country is the leading producer of papaya? Okay, India is the leading producer of papaya. So this papaya, this economically important papaya fruit suffers from large number of diseases. A few important diseases. In that, the first disease is foot rot or stem rot. It is caused by a fungus called Pythium aphaniodermatum. And next disease, mosaic disease. It is also called as ring spot disease. It is caused by a fungus called papaya mosaic virus, or commonly called as papaya ring spot virus. Then another disease called leaf curl. It is caused by a virus called tobacco leaf curl virus. Then there is another disease called anthracnose, caused by a fungus called Colletotrichum papaya. These are some of the important diseases of papaya. Let us see the first disease, that is foot rot or stem rot. Okay, in the name itself it is there. Foot means the base of the stem is called as foot. Now, as you can observe rotting at the basal portion of the stem, they named it as foot rot or stem rot. This disease we can notice both in nursery stage as well as in the field also we can observe the symptoms. Coming to the common symptoms, you can observe here water soaked patches will develop at the basal portion of the stem. You can see clearly here. Later, these patches will enlarge in size and they turns dark brown in color. In severe cases, what will happen is the basal portion of the stem will rot. As a result of rotting, it will obstruct the flow of water from roots to shoots. As a result, what will happen? If rotting occurs at the base of the stem, what it will do? It will obstruct the flow of water from roots to stem. As a result, what will happen?
Wilting occurs.
Okay, very good. So as a result, what will happen is all the leaves will turn yellow in color. They will wither and droop off. Okay, if the infection is very severe, it will spread. Okay, the infection will spread around the basal portion of the stem. It is also called girdle. Girdle means around the stem. The infection will spread around the stem. As a result, the stem will break at the point of the infection. So the entire plant will drop off or droop off, or it will die. This is the typical symptom. In addition to this, internal tissues of the infected stem, you can observe here. Okay, this is the photograph. If you observe very closely the infected tissue, you can see here like this. Okay, the internal tissues of the infected stem will dry and it gives like a honeycomb like appearance. You can see here. Okay, like honeycomb you can observe. Okay, this is the typical symptom of foot rot or stem rot. Honeycomb appearance in papaya is due to dash disease. It is due to foot rot or stem rot. Okay, in previous class also we have observed honeycomb appearance. Where can you say? Honeycomb appearance. Somewhere I have discussed about this. In which disease? Okay, I have discussed in Citrus tristigia.
Stem pits are
Okay, in Citrus tristigia, when the rootstock near the junction of rootstock and cyan, if the rootstock is sweet orange, we can observe honeycomb appearance. A fine pits will be observed. Okay, there I have discussed about honeycomb appearance. So then later the infection will spread to the roots. It causes decay of roots and fruits will shrivel and drop off. Okay, these are the typical symptoms of foot rot and stem rot. Coming to the primary source. Okay, the primary source is through saprophytic mycelium and also through oospores. Okay, Pythium is a lower fungi. Pythium belongs to a subdivision called Mastigomycotina. They produces a sexual spore called, what is this one? Oospore. Okay, Pythium, Phytophthora, downy mildew genera, they produces a sexual spore called oospore. So the survival and spread, the primary source will be same for all these fungi, whether it is Pythium, whether it is Phytophthora, all downy mildew genera, they produces a sexual spore called oospore. Okay, this is a resting spore. This acts as primary source of infection. And secondary spread is through, can you name what is this one? Have you not seen this? These are zoospores, biflagellate zoospores. One contains tinsel, whiplash, flagellum. You might be studied in your 171 course. Okay, secondary spread will be through zoospores. How the zoospores will spread? Through irrigation water. Okay, through irrigation water, these zoospores will spread from one plant to another plant. Okay, this acts as secondary source of infection. So the primary source and secondary source will be same. Either it is a Pythium, if it is a Phytophthora, even downy mildew genera, the primary source and secondary source will be the same. And then coming to the favorable conditions, can you say what will be the favorable conditions? As it is a lower group of fungi, can anyone say what will be the favorable conditions for this Pythium? As we have discussed in earlier classes also. What type of climate will favor this disease?
Heavy rainfalls.
Okay, very good. Heavy rainfall, that is during rainy season, that is July to August, we can see severe incidence of the disease. Okay, rainy season, then younger seedlings are more susceptible than older seedlings. The reason is Pythium causes a typical disease. Can you name? What is the name of the disease caused by Pythium generally?
Damping off.
Damping off. Okay,
Damping off.
Damping off means the death of the seedlings. Okay, generally Pythium causes diseases at seedling stage. Okay, as the plant grows, as the plant attains maturity, the ability of the pathogen to cause the disease in older plants is less because of thickening of the cell wall. So Pythium generally prefers young seedlings. So Pythium causes generally seedling diseases. So young seedlings are more susceptible than older ones. And another favorable condition is ill-drained conditions and high soil moisture favors the development of the disease. Can you mention why ill-drained conditions will favor the disease?
Water stagnation.
Pardon? Ill-drained
Water gets
okay, please. Water.
Stagnation.
Why it favors the disease?
zoospores present in it.
Okay, because zoospores requires water for its spread. Okay, secondary spread is through zoospores. That zoospores requires water. Okay, if water is there, the zoospores can swim easily and they can spread from one plant to another plant. That's the reason whenever there is a high moisture or ill-drained conditions are there in the soil, the spread of the disease will be more. Okay, that is the reason. So based on favorable conditions, we can follow the management practices like this. So coming to the management practice, coming to the cultural, okay, seedlings should be raised in a well-drained nursery, okay, or in pot trays. Have you observed pot trays anytime? It is a plastic sheet which contains coir pit. Generally, they are asking, as there is a very good drainage facility in pot trays, they are asking us to grow seedlings, papaya seedlings in these pot trays or in modern nurseries in protected poly houses where the drainage facility is good. Then another reason is we have to select a proper site where there is adequate drainage facility. If that facility is not available, then we have to grow for drip irrigation. So another one is applying Trichoderma viride. Okay, already we have discussed in previous class where we have applied Trichoderma viride against which pathogen? Against soil-borne pathogens like Fusarium, we have seen root rot of citrus. Okay, Phytophthora, Fusarium, we can apply this Trichoderma viride. Okay, the procedure is we have to take 2 kg of Trichoderma viride and we have to mix this with 90 kg of farmyard manure and 10 kg of neem cake. We have to give proper moisture and we have to leave it under the shade for 20 days for multiplying of this Trichoderma inside this farmyard manure. Okay, after 20 days, we can see the growth of heavy growth of Trichoderma viride, which is called, this is called as enriched farmyard manure with Trichoderma viride. Okay, this is highly effective for controlling this disease. Then coming to the chemical, which chemical is highly recommended for lower group of fungi?
Carbendazim.
Carbendazim is not recommended. Okay, carbendazim is not recommended for lower group of fungi. Okay, keep in mind they are not effective for lower group of fungi like Pythium, Phytophthora and downy mildew. Don't recommend carbendazim. Okay, the highly recommended fungicide for lower group of fungi is Ridomil MZ. Okay, it is available in the market like metaloxyl. Okay, it is Ridomil MZ. The recommendation is we have to apply at 0.1%. 0.1% means 1 gram in 1 liter of water or 1 ml in 1 liter of water. Okay, it is a systemic fungicide. We can also recommend copper oxychloride at the rate of 0.3%. Okay, you have to drench so that the base of the stem should be properly wetted. Then we can control or manage this disease. Okay, that's about foot rot or stem rot. Then next coming to the another disease, that is mosaic disease. It is also called as ring spot disease. It is a very severe disease in papaya caused by a virus called papaya mosaic virus or papaya ring spot virus. Okay, why it has named as ring spot, I will explain you. This papaya ring spot belongs to a family called Potyviridae, genus called Potyvirus. It is the largest genus among plant viruses which contain many viruses infecting crops. And the species is papaya ring spot virus. Coming its genome, it contains positive sense single stranded RNA as its genome, and it contains a flexuous rods. Okay, it is not rigid rod, it is a flexuous rod, means it will be flexible. Can you name a virus which is having a rigid rod shape? Virus which is having a rigid rod shape. Okay, that is tobacco mosaic virus. Okay, this is a very good example for flexuous rod. Coming to the symptoms, the first symptom is mottling and puckering of young leaves. Do you know what is the meaning of mottling? Anyone? Mottling means
Marks with spots.
marked with spots. Okay, can anyone say what is a mosaic? Generally for viruses we will be telling mosaic symptoms appears on the leaf. Do you know what is the meaning of mosaic?
Different shades of color.
Please a bit louder.
Different shades color.
Shades of what?
Coloring.
What kind of
Coloration.
shades you can? Okay, coloring. You are correct. What kind of shades you will observe? Okay,
Green
mosaic
or yellow.
means
Green and
okay,
yellow.
very good, very good. Mosaic means alternate green and yellow color patches. Okay, if you are able to see green alternating with yellow, yellow alternating with green patches, then we'll call that symptom as mosaic. Generally, that kind of symptoms will be produced by when we'll see infection with viruses. Then coming to mottling, how mosaic differs from mottling is if we can clearly able to differentiate alternate patches, means exactly if you are able to differentiate clearly alternating green and yellow color patches, then we'll call it as mosaic. Okay, if we are not able to differentiate it properly, then they gave a terminology called mottling. Here also you will be seeing light yellow and dark green colors, but they are not alternating. We cannot able to differentiate them clearly. That cases we name it as mottling. Okay, have you understood what is the difference between mottling and mosaic?
Yes, sir.
Okay, here you cannot differentiate clearly. There is alternate green and yellow color patch, that they named it as mottling. And puckering means wrinkling or constricted. Okay, that is the actual meaning of puckering. Okay, mottling and puckering of young leaves will be seen. That is the typical symptom. In addition to this, water soaked chlorotic spots. Can you able to observe here? Okay, water soaked chlorotic spots will be appeared on the tender stem as well as petioles of the leaf. You can observe here. Water soaked chlorotic spots will be observed on the petioles as well as on the tender stems. Then another typical symptom of this papaya ring spot virus is the lamina of the leaves is greatly reduced into a tendril-like structure. You can observe here. The lamina will be greatly reduced into a tendril-like structure, giving a shoestring appearance. Okay, you know the lace of a shoe, right? Like that, the leaf will be converted. So this symptom is called as shoestring symptom. Okay, this is the characteristic symptom of papaya ring spot virus. Then another one, can you observe here how it looks like? With name antar Telugulo, how they resembles like bubbles. Okay, budipel laga untayi annamata. Okay, they are called as blisters. Okay, blister like patches of dark green alternating with light green or yellowish tissue will be observed on the leaf surface. Okay, if the infection is very severe, you can observe blister like or bubble like structures. You can see here also. Okay, blister like or bubble like patches will be observed on the surface of the leaf. Then coming to the another symptom, all the older leaves will fall down and only the tuft of younger leaves will be present with upright position. Then coming to another typical symptom, okay, this you might have been observed in your market. Okay, you can see large number of circular water soaked spots with clear concentric rings will be observed on the surface of the fruit. Okay, circular water soaked with clear concentric rings will be observed on the surface of the fruit. That's the reason they named it as papaya ring spot virus. Okay, you can see here also. Okay, this is also the characteristic symptom of papaya ring spot virus. So one is clear concentric circular rings on the surface of the fruit, and shoestring symptom on the leaves are the characteristic symptoms of papaya ring spot virus. Okay, this is a very severe disease in papaya, very difficult to manage, and all the commercial varieties which we are growing throughout the world are highly susceptible to this disease. Okay, you might have observed this. Okay, whenever you are consuming papaya fruit, you observe on the surface of the fruit. Damn sure you can notice this type of symptoms on the surface of the fruit. Have you seen any time before this symptom?
Yes,
Sir,
sir. Yes, sir.
okay. Then coming to survival and spread, the primary source is virus particles present on the infected plants, and secondary source is through this insect. What is this?
Aphids.
Okay, what is the scientific
Aphids.
name of aphid? Common scientific name of aphid.
Apis
Okay,
Aphid
very good.
gossipy.
It is Gossipy, Myzus, Persicae. Okay, so the primary source of infection is through aphid. One species is Myzus persicae. Okay, this insect will spread the virus from one plant to another plant. Can you name another aphid-borne virus that we have discussed in last class? Aphid-borne virus. In citrus, we have studied one virus disease will spread
Tristija
through
virus.
aphid. Okay, that is citrus tristija virus. It is spreads through a aphid called black aphid. What is the scientific name?
Toxoptera
Taxoptera citricida.
Okay, Toxoptera citricida. That is very important for your competitive exams. In addition to this, the virus also survives on other hosts. Can you name what is this host?
cucumber.
Cucumber. Very good.
Well,
What is, okay, this is the scientific name of bottle gourd. Okay, all these hosts, generally all the members which comes under the family Cucurbitaceae, this virus will cause infection. So other hosts will also act as a source of survival. Okay, suppose you have grown papaya field nearby, if you are having cucumber or this kind, then this also acts as a source for the virus to spread to the papaya plant, from papaya to these plants also. Okay, this is the secondary source. Then coming to the management, how can we manage this disease? So we have to raise disease free seedling. At primary infection, I have said, okay, in all viruses we are mentioning obtaining virus free seedlings or obtaining virus free grafts. In citrus we have studied. In the similar way, the primary infection is through virus particles will be present in the nursery plant. So we have to raise the seedlings in insect free net houses or poly houses. Can you mention why? What is the reason?
వెక్టార్ తో వస్తుంది డిసీజ్ వస్తుంది కాబట్టి
Okay, very good. because it is a vector borne virus. Okay, if we are growing the nursery outside, what will happen? There is a chance of the vector feeding on the plant. Okay, at early stage you may not notice the virus symptom. So when you will transplant such type of infected seedlings in the field, then you will get the disease. That's the reason the first important management practice is we have to get the seedlings raised in net house or poly houses which are free from insect vectors. That type of seedlings will be free from the virus. That is the important practice. Then another one is collection and destruction of the diseased plants to prevent further spread of the disease. Then can you observe what is this? Cropping pattern.
Broader cropping.
Very good.
Border crop.
Border crop. Okay, we have to grow for border crops. Okay, raising barrier crops like sorghum or maize on the boundaries of the field. Why? What is the reason why we will recommend this practice? This is very important for your final exam also.
Barrier of
వెక్టర్స్ అక్కడికి అట్రాక్ట్ అవుతాయి.
Okay, no, that is called trap crop, not border crop. Any other reason? Barrier crops is highly recommended not only in papaya, any kind of diseases that are transmitted by aphid as a vector, border crop is recommended. Okay, when you will grow border crop, what will happen is it will restrict the movement of the vector from one field to another field. Thereby the spread of the disease can be prevented. Okay, as there is a border around the field, it will prevent the or it will restrict the movement of the aphid vectors from one field to another field. Thereby you can prevent the spread of the disease. So raising barrier crops like sorghum is recommended around the papaya plants. This is suitable only for aphids as a vector. Then coming to the biological practice, that is cross protection. I have already explained what is cross protection. In which crop? For which disease?
సిట్రస్ ట్రిస్టిజా వైరస్.
Tristilla virus.
Okay, in citrus tristija virus, I have mentioned about cross protection. Okay, the principle here is when we are inoculating the virus with a mild strain, it protects the plant against from the severe strain of the virus. Okay, that is called as cross protection. Okay, in Hawaii, they are using this cross protection as a principle. Hawaii comes under which country?
USA.
Very
China.
good. It is an island which comes under United States of America. Okay, the very important another thing is they in Hawaii is one of the leading producer of papaya, and their entire crop has been destroyed by this papaya ring spot virus. Okay, during that time, what I have said, this cross protection, what is the principle behind cross protection? I have explained that day. Means I said there is one technology behind this cross protection. Can you name that?
RNA silencing.
Very good. That is RNA silencing technology. Okay, in Hawaii, they use this RNA silencing technology and they have developed a two transgenic plants. Okay, one is called as Sun Up, another transgenic crop called Rainbow. Okay, these two transgenic plants are found to be resistant to the virus. Okay, this resistance is called coat protein mediated resistant. Okay, they used technology called RNA silencing technology. I will explain what is this RNA silencing technology in coming classes. Okay, for time being, you remember they have developed two transgenic varieties called Sun Up and Rainbow through coat protein mediated resistance. Okay, here the technology involved is RNAi silencing technology. Okay, this is nothing but cross protection. Okay, can you observe here? These are the papaya plants. These are transgenic papaya plants resistant for virus, and you can see surrounding there are so many non-transgenic papaya plants that have been destroyed by papaya ring spot virus. Okay, this is the aerial photography taken in the fields of Hawaii to compare the resistance of both transgenic crop as well as non-transgenic crop. Okay, this RNA silencing technology has been exploited for the development of so many resistant plants or for the development of so many transgenic plants against viruses. Okay, during my MSc program also I have developed a transgenic groundnut plant against peanut stem necrosis disease. Okay, by using the same technology, but there is only one variety which has been released for commercial approval, that is papaya. This are nothing but Sannam Pan Rainbow. Only United States they have allowed to grow this transgenic papaya plant by using this RNA technology. Okay, so many plants have been developed, so many transgenic plants have been developed by using this technology, but they have not released for cultivation. Okay, you know, you might be knowing the issue, BT brinjal. Okay, in the same way, the India, the most of the people are opposing for transgenic crops. Okay, this is the only transgenic crop by using a technology called RNAi technology. It has been approved for commercial cultivation. Okay, this is useful for your competitive exams also. And then coming to the management, we cannot control the virus. Only the thing is we can manage. Okay, coming back, as it is very difficult to control virus as such. Okay, the only thing we can do is controlling of the insect vector. So for controlling of insect vector, systemic fungicides like dimethoate is recommended at the rate of 2 ml per liter of water for to prevent the spread of this disease. Then next, coming to the another disease, that is leaf curl caused by tobacco leaf curl virus. It belongs to a family called Geminiviridae, comes under a genus called Begomovirus and a species called tobacco leaf curl virus. It contains positive sense single stranded DNA as its genome. Shape is geminate spherical particles. What do you mean by gemini? Geminate means what? Gemini. What is the meaning of that?
Pairs.
Okay, pairs. Okay, that are nothing but twins. Okay, these virus particles always will be in pairs. You can see as two. Okay, so they called it as geminate spherical virus particles. Okay, have you seen this ad? Okay, during our childhood we used to see this logo for Gemini channel. Okay, Gemini means two. Okay, always they will be in two or twin virus particles. Okay, so they named it as geminate spherical particles, and the family also they named it as Geminiviridae because these virus particles will be present as twin particles. Coming to the symptoms. Okay, in the name itself is there leaf curl. Okay, you can see severe curling, crinkling and distortion of leaves will be seen, and in addition with this you can also observe bean clearing as well as reduction in the leaf lamina. Okay, then the leaf margins are rolled inwards or downwards, and if you see from the top you can see like an inverted cup shaped structure. You can observe it as very clearly. The leaf margin will roll inwards and it gives an inverted cup appearance. Then another symptom is you can observe here. Okay, in the curled leaves all the veins will be very thick. Okay, thickening of veins will be seen. It is also another typical symptom. In addition to this, we can see twisting of the petioles and all the leaves will become leathery. If you touch them, they will brittle and fall off. Okay, these are the typical symptoms of leaf curl. Then coming to the primary source, same like that of papaya ring spot virus. The primary source is through virus particles present on the infected plants, and secondary source is through a insect vector What is the insect vector? Can you name this one?
White fly.
Okay, white fly. Its scientific name is? Scientific name of white fly.
Basinia tabasi.
Okay, Bemisia tabaci. Okay, try to remember all leaf curl viruses are transmitted by a particular vector called white fly, that is Bemisia tabaci. Okay, it acts as a vector. In addition to this, there are also other hosts where this virus will cause infection or where it will survive. Can you name what is this one? Have you seen this plant previously? Okay, it is Petunia. This one?
Datura.
Datura. Okay. Tomato as well as tobacco. Okay, all these other hosts also acts as a secondary source of infection. So try to remember, whitefly acts as a vector not only for tobacco leaf curl viruses. Wherever you see leaf curl, okay, then we can automatically the vector will be Bemisia tabaci. Okay, all the members which comes under this begomovirus group, all the viruses which comes under this begomovirus are transmitted by the vector called whitefly. Not only tobacco leaf curl virus, in addition all the viruses which comes under this genus are transmitted by whitefly. Then coming to management, the same cultural practice, we have to produce disease free seedlings. For that you have to raise the seedlings in insect proof net houses or poly houses, and you have to collect and destroy the infected plants. And another important practice for managing whiteflies is erecting yellow sticky traps. Okay, if you erect like this sticky traps, the insects will be attracted by this yellow color, they will stick, and you can manage the population of whitefly. Okay, can you use these yellow sticky traps for aphids? Yes or no? Can we
No, sir.
use?
No, sir.
No, we cannot use because aphids won't attract for with yellow color. Okay, even the border crop we have recommended for managing the aphids, but not for whitefly, because whiteflies can easily penetrate through this border crop. Okay, their movement is different. Aphid movement is different, whitefly movement is different. We will be studying in your entomology course in detail. So border crop will be recommended for aphids, whereas yellow sticky traps will be recommended for whiteflies. And so managing the insect vector by spraying the same methyl dimeton at the rate of 2 ml per liter of water. Then last disease, that is anthracnose caused by Colletotrichum papayi. Okay, in which crop we have studied anthracnose in previous class?
Mango.
Mango.
Mango. Okay, the same symptoms also appears here. Anthrax means charcoal color. Already I have discussed how this word has been come. Okay, as the symptoms resembles like that of anthrax that cause disease in case of animals and humans. Then nose means disease, anthrax. As the symptoms resembles like that of anthrax, they named this disease as anthracnose. Okay, we will be seeing circular to irregular dark brown spots with dark brown margin and grayish center will appear on the leaves as well as on the fruits. Coming to the symptoms, okay, you can see whether the spots are raised or sunken.
Raised.
Raised. Okay, wherever Colletotrichum comes, we will be seeing sunken spots. Okay, if you touch, you can feel. Okay, they will be sunken. Okay, you can see circular brown sunken spots will appear on the surface of the fruit. If the infection is very severe, white mycelial growth of the fungus will be noticed on the surface of the spots. Then infected fruit will become brown in color and it will be severely rotten. Early fruit infection results in mummification and deformation of the fruit. You can see here how the fruit is deformed and it has been rotted. Okay, that's about anthracnose. Then the primary source, what we have studied in mango anthracnose, the same primary source holds good here also. The primary source is through mycelium surviving on the infected plant debris, as well as they produces a typical asexual fruiting body called acervulus. Okay, both acts as primary source of infection. And secondary source is through conidia that spreads through wind and rain. Okay, this is the conidia of Colitotrichum. Colitotrichum. You can observe small dot-like structures inside. Can you able to see this one? Small dot-like structures. They are nothing but oil globules. Okay, so they named it as Colitotrichum gliosporoides. Glio means presence of oil globule inside the spore. So they named it as species as gliosporoides. That's the reason. So here the conidia will spread through wind as well as through rain. That is the secondary source of infection. So management, collection and destruction of diseased plants. Okay, this holds good for any kind of disease. Not only this, for any kind of disease, you can write this management practice. We have to avoid injuries at the time of harvest, transport and storage, because it is causes post-harvest infection. In addition to this, foliar spraying with carbendism. So as it is a higher group of fungi, you can recommend carbendism or chlorothalonil at the rate of 0.2% at 15 days interval. We can able to manage this disease. In addition to this, fumigation of fruits with benzyl isothiocyanate and coating with ground oil also controls the post-harvest losses of this fruit. Which group of plants produces isothiocyanates? Isothiocyanates. Which plants are rich in isothiocyanates? Might have studied in agronomy. Okay, all the members which comes under the family Brassicaceae, mustard, brassica, all these crops are rich in a special kind of compounds called isothiocyanates. Okay, they are having antifungal properties. Okay, so they are recommending fumigation with these compounds will reduce the post-harvest disease. We can also go for fruit dip method by using benomyl also, as I recommended in case of mango. Okay, that's about the management practice of anthracnose. Okay, do you have any comes under the family Brassicaceae, mustard, brassica? All these crops are rich in a special kind of compounds called isothiocyanates. Okay, they are having antifungal properties. Okay, so they are recommending fumigation with these compounds will reduce the post-harvest disease. We can also go for fruit dip method by using benomyl also, as I recommended in case of mango. Okay, that's about the management practice of anthracnose.